Hey people, it is Monday, February the 3rd. Time is 4:25 p.m. It's currently about 0 degrees Celsius with very light, wet snow coming down at the moment. And I'm here in North Toronto at the intersection of Yonge Street and Yonge Boulevard. I'm at Yonge and Yonge. Yes, there is actually such an intersection in Toronto. And this is up in the Lawrence Village area of Toronto, kind of the northern end of Old Toronto. So I'll be walking south along Yonge Street, I think all the way down to Eglinton. So this is a really nice retail strip running almost all the way along Yonge Street into the heart of Midtown. And for that matter, it basically continues all the way into downtown as well. I think that might be the original Deli Buster location. And it is rush hour. You sort of make out some of the towers way off in the distance to the north, up in North York Center. That's up at Yonge and Shepherd. I think it was actually raining just a little while ago, but the temperature dipped a degree or so and it transitioned to this wet snow. It might still be raining downtown. It was when I left my apartment. As you can see, Yonge Street here is quite wide and very busy. 4 wide lanes of traffic. But despite that, this is a pretty lively and healthy retail strip all through this part of Yonge Street. Lots of very high-end stores and restaurants. In keeping with the surrounding neighborhoods, which are quite affluent. I think this area is around 100 years old from the time it was first built up. Some of the buildings do have their dates. This one says 1931 across the street. So after we make our way through Yonge Lawrence Village, we'll enter Uptown Yonge. That's the part of Yonge Street north of Eglinton, up until about Lawrence. Here's the Mastermind Toys. They're always located in neighborhoods with money, I find. And obviously neighborhoods that have a lot of children. But not the poorer neighborhoods that have a lot of children, just the more upscale ones. once we get to Yonge and Eglinton, I might take us into the Yonge-Eglinton Center and go up to the rooftop patio just to end the video there, if it's open. Things are quite slushy now. I have to tread carefully. Yeah, a bit slippery as well. You'll notice most of the buildings along this part of Yonge Street don't go much higher than 3 or 4 stories, with a few exceptions here and there. A bit further south, though, it does transition to a bit of a residential stretch where you'll see some apartment buildings, some of which do get a bit taller. And then once you move into Uptown Yonge, you get closer to Yonge and Eglinton, and then suddenly things get a lot denser and a lot taller. And the temperature yo-yo is continuing. Literally from one day to the next, the temperature can swing from well below 0 to above 0, and then back below again the next day. And there's another one of those things. I see those all the time now. And as I've said in a previous video, every notable neighborhood has a Gabby's location. There's a soccer store. I wonder if my nephew knows about that place. And I think this is where they tore down a whole block of old storefronts to make way for this new residential building. This would be a mid-rise. It'd be quite a bit taller than most of the other buildings in this part of Yonge Street, but not tall, just maybe about 9 stories if I'm remembering. If you look back at one of my older videos when I walked through this area, you'd be able to see all the old buildings that used to be here. At one point they were all boarded up. They were pretty similar to the ones across the street in their scale.
Is that GoPro camera? Where'd you get it from?
It's a DJI Osmo Pocket.
DJI Osmo Pocket.
Yeah.
Is it like, I see the quality is like really nice.
Yeah.
How do you like transport that to your phone?
You can just plug it into a cable. I transfer it to my computer. I just plug it into a cable.
Oh, and you have a mic as well. Do you do YouTube?
Yeah, I do YouTube, yeah.
Really? What's your channel?
It's the Ken Continuum.
The Ken Continuum.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. What do you post on there?
Just walks. I just do walks around the city.
Oh, so you're just walking around this?
Yeah.
Yo, am I gonna be in the video?
You could be if you want.
So the Ken why is it saying YouTube Premium?
So the Ken should pop up.
The Ken
Continuum.
Right there. Yeah.
There I am.
That's you, right?
That's me. Awesome, man. Thank you.
I just met, what's it called? A famous person.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that, but
Yeah, maybe not famous, but yeah. 26K is a lot. How long?
well, it's getting there. Like 6 years. Yep.
That's nice.
Takes a while.
Before you head out, though, I'm just curious if you ever heard about Cam H before.
About what?
Cam H. That's the reason why I'm here.
Cam H? I have heard about it, yeah.
You know about Cam H?
Yeah.
So we're just out here, unfortunately, talking about the mental health crisis because of the fact that Canada has the highest suicide rates amongst all developed countries. Are you surprised about that?
No, I'd love to help and everything, but I'm literally in the middle of recording a video, so I can't really stop and chat, you know, because I do these all in one take, right? So,
Thank you,
all right, but thanks though, man. I thought he was just a guy curious about my camera. He didn't have like a little vest or a clipboard on him like you'd usually find. Maybe he was in disguise. All right, we're coming into that more residential stretch. There's some nice old walk-up apartment buildings and a few more modern high-rise apartments. And you can see the Yonge-Eglinton skyline just off to the south. The light snow seems to be coming to an end. And here is Lawrence Avenue. And Lawrence subway station right over there. I did take the subway up here, and it was jam-packed, sardine style, the entire ride from Dundas to Lawrence. And unfortunately, I was standing the entire time. I didn't even have anything to hang on to. I was just sort of wedged in the center of the aisle. But I managed to stay on my feet as the train lurched at times. And I am definitely a bit too warmly dressed. I'm wearing my bigger, heavier winter coat that I've been wearing pretty consistently over the last month or so. But today I think is a bit too warm for this coat. I suppose I could unzip it, let some cool air in. There's Lawrence Park across the street, the actual park. Church of the Blessed Sacrament. Another awesome old walk-up apartment. I wonder what the rents are in these buildings. I'm guessing quite high. We have a nice courtyard here. I'm trying to remember if Capright is one of those companies to be avoided. Oh, slippery here. This looks like a rather upscale building as well. Obviously, this one is quite new. More old beauties across the street. This green one always stands out to me. I'm guessing these date back to the 1930s. These older walk-ups. '30s, '40s maybe. Alright, so now we're coming into Uptown Yonge. As this stretch of Yonge Street businesses is referred to by the local business improvement area. At one time, I think Yonge-Eglinton in general was referred to as Uptown, and a lot of people still do refer to it that way. But I think a lot more people refer to it as Midtown these days. The way I see it is maybe Midtown goes from just north of Yonge and Bloor, up past St. Clair, just up until Yonge and Eglinton, and then once you get north of Eglinton, you could say it's Uptown. Otherwise, those banners would say Midtown Yonge, not Uptown Yonge, right? Some people refer to North York Center as Uptown now also. But to me, that's just North York Center. To me, downtown, midtown, and uptown should be confined to the old city of Toronto. This North York was one of the boroughs outside of the old city. It's its own thing. Another awesome old beauty there. Uptown Yonge Dental. Getting some bigger snowflakes coming down now. Here's the huge Sporting Life store for the neighborhood. There's like one big display window, but other than that, it's like a bunker. I guess another little display at that end, but not the prettiest building. Some of the housing stock. It's mostly detached single-family houses on the side streets with some semi-detached housing mixed in. The further south you go, the more semi-detached housing you'll find. Eventually transitions to mostly row housing once you get closer to downtown. The Starbucks looks almost empty. I do see a couple people. I have a feeling the Starbucks locations in the city might be a bit lacking in customers of late. You might be able to guess why. I don't drink coffee, so I don't have to decide where to get my caffeine fix. a neat mural. It should start to get pretty busy now as we get closer to Yonge and Eglinton. A little party shop. Fun times. This is like an outlying CBD in a lot of ways. Outlying business district. Most of the tall buildings are residential, but there are also a fair number of office towers. New buildings constantly on the rise. If you were to walk right into the heart of downtown, from here it would take probably close to 2 hours. If you're walking at a normal rate of speed like most people do. I could do the walk a bit faster than that though. See how they've incorporated this older building into this new development. Facadism is what you call that. It's a Toronto thing in a big way. Other cities do it, but I think Toronto probably does it more than any other. Interesting to see how it looks on the inside now. And that black tower you see up ahead is the tallest building in the area for now anyway. It's 58 stories. It's called the E-condos. And I think its shorter twin is a rental building. purpose-built rental. We got more on the rise. The Yonge-Eglinton skyline rivals the skyline of a lot of fair-sized cities throughout the US and Canada just by itself. Hopefully this very light snow doesn't transition back to rain again. So I'm planning to do a live stream after this, and I'd rather not do a live stream in the rain. And fellow walk-tuber Johnny Strides lives in this area. I coined the term Stridesland to refer to the neighborhood. You might have heard of that before, perhaps. Alright, we're almost at Eglinton Avenue. We're walking past the Yonge-Eglinton Center, which is a small indoor shopping mall at the corner of Yonge and Eglinton, or we will be walking past it in a moment anyway. And the pedestrian traffic has really picked up now. The intersection of Yonge and Eglinton up ahead is one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the entire city. And it's not even downtown. There's an entrance into the mall. I have done a walk through that mall if you're interested. And I'll probably come back and do an updated walk. But for this video, I think I'm just going to go into the entryway over here that'll take me up to the rooftop patio, as I mentioned. Hopefully it's open. And there's the intersection. After over a decade of construction, it looks normal again. Crosstown Eglinton rapid transit line had this area torn up for far, far too long, and the line is still not open, as you probably know. But it is right below us, just waiting to be opened, hopefully sometime this year. Alright, so let's see if I can get up to this rooftop patio.
Going up.
R for roof, I imagine.
Blue. Going down.
And here we are. All right. I don't remember this glass being quite so much of a barrier as it was before. But there's a look down at the intersection. So I hope you enjoyed the walk. We started up at the intersection of Yonge and Yonge, sort of near the northern boundary of Old Toronto, and made our way south along Yonge through Yonge Lawrence Village, and we continued on through Uptown Yonge here to this awesome view at Yonge-Eglinton atop the Yonge-Eglinton Center. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed the walk, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And also be sure to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. If you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member, or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So, thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because, as always, I will continue.